just before the children start to lose me now, because I've started to talk serious, right? I've started to talk serious now. So now I'm just about to lose them. That's when I hit them with an illustration. And I say, you ever been tobogganing? I went tobogganing with my kids. I was going down the hill, and I had one of my children in the sleigh in front, in the toboggan. And I had a hold of him, and I was going warp 7. So fast that my hair was going down my tooth. And the faces, were doing this. And my son in the front, he was loving it. Faster, Dad, faster. He's coming up the hill. It was my daughter. She didn't see me coming down at warp 7. And I didn't see her walking up the hill. And just like America's Funniest Home Video, suddenly, wham! I ran right into my daughter Abigail, who was 4. I hit her, and she went, boom! And I couldn't quite grab her, she was too high in the air. And then, as I looked back, I saw her crumple into the snow behind me. Now, you guys are all adults, so you're all like, kids would be like, yeah! Tell us about the gore. Guys, so drawn in, but guys, that was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. I should have looked before I went. And just like everybody, that was one of my biggest mistakes, and we make them all the time, don't we? This is a broken world, where mistakes happen all the time. Illustration was short. It didn't ramble on. I didn't have to do, I went out, it was a sunny day. My toboggan was red. My daughter, she'd already gone first. And then she got off her toboggan, and she was, I didn't really see where she was going, so I got on my sleigh. I said, Billy, get in. And started to go down. And, you'll notice that I got into the story right away. I'm going down. Tobogganing. I didn't even tell them that. Warp 7, all that to draw them in. Funny, sound effects, whatever you've got in your arsenal, right? And then Abigail. So, illustration is short in order to illustrate the point. Sometimes we've got a great story, and you can't wait to say it. Can't wait to tell the kids, this is going to be a home run. It's going to be awesome. Too bad it doesn't actually illustrate your point, which is the goal. People make mistakes. Usually, what I did with the kids at the chapel that I did this, when I said people sin, and look at this, guys, over here. Look at this. When I said people sin, right, I talked about mistakes. That's not the whole story about sin, is it? And sometimes we rebel against God. I think I would have said is we do. We rebel against God. So from there, I get to a little more theology where I might lose the kids, but they've already sort of engaged with where I'm going anyway. Okay, I'm going to buy in, John. I'm going to listen to your point about people sin. And you just talked about mistakes, and I got it with the illustration. Now you're going to talk about rebelling, and I'm going to illustrate that real quickly. And then I'm going to sum the whole thing up by saying, do you think that you also sin? And you say, yeah. The way I did it at the chapel that day is I said, okay, I did the mistakes part, and then I said, we also choose to rebel against God. We call them sins. How many of you would say, I know what one of those sins is? Okay, what are they? What are they? And this is where I got into the audience piece. Be careful of that. The audience piece you've got to be careful of, right? Because it may get away on you, right? If you've got a group and you know they're the get away from your group, as soon as you open it up to them, don't go there. It's okay, don't go there. So, yeah, okay, murder, yes, and adultery, yes. Okay. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, yes. I'm preaching through the Sermon on the Mount right now, so these are coming to mind. Okay, all right, yes, this one, that one. Those are sin. Those are examples of sin. We all make them. And I hope that at the end of that, kids have learned now that God is holy. I've described that, I've illustrated it, I've made comments about it. So they understand somewhat of God is holy. Okay. People sin. And I'm one of them. Okay? So illustration, the audience, that's where we engage with them. I think it can be a very effective thing. And when you start to lose them, you've got to pull them back in. When the cell phone went off, I tried to show you an example of pulling back in. Body language is excellent for that. But if you're always doing this, it's too late. You've gone to your limits. Some of the best things you can do is just stay in one spot, grounded. You can use your body language like this, but if you have to, get down here to where they're at. I find that this is an excellent way with children, especially, to draw them back in. It's this kind of body language, because internally what happens is a child thinks, you're on my level. They don't even think that consciously. It just happens for them, right? That's why when I'm with my kids, I'll often listen to them like this. I'll listen to them, okay, well, is that what happened? I'll always get down like this and hug them. Hey, tell me about your day and everything like that. I'll often do this. Hey, fantastic. That's awesome. Sometimes I'll do this too. When I'm with youth especially, right? It disarms the situation. Diffuses any kind of body language movements, right? So, oh, tell me about that more. Is that right? It's fantastic. You know, that kind of stuff. So in your talk, yes, and then when you have to do this,